when.
That's dirty. No, you'll have it.
I'll pay for it next day delivery.
Yeah, send it to him. No, give it back to him
Right.
in the week.
Right.
Should we kick it off, Josh?
Right, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Gals.
Josh Warrington, you're the new world champion. How does that feel?
And Jonathan, I couldn't put it into words. What an occasion, what a night. It's fairy tale ending. You know, I've been doubted for a very long time, and since Frank's made the fight, you know, last 18 weeks, but it's been emotional. In them 18 weeks, I've had my baby girls have been born. I've had to deal with them crying at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then go training, sparring next day. My beautiful wife's helped me out massively. My whole family has, and what a night, yeah. Just early on today, I've always been confident throughout this build-up of this fight. You know, press conferences, open workouts. I've always massively believed I've had this fight won. But earlier today in the hotel room, I just got hit by a massive wave of nerves and started thinking, what if it's not meant to be? You know, I've got the expectation of an whole city on my shoulders. Leeds fans all around the world sending me messages saying we're with you. You've got this, and other. But as soon as I got into the venue tonight, it all lifted. And as soon as we got in that ring and I looked about, I thought, there's no way I'm losing this fight tonight. And proof's in pudding. I don't know.
Josh, you made history tonight. You become the first boxing world champion that Leeds has ever had. I mean, what does that mean to you, bearing in mind the fantastic support you got tonight?
I could die an happy man, or I could die an happy man. You know, I really could. If you know, if
Might have cut the first.
well, yeah. Listen, how do you top that? You're gonna have to dig deep here, Frank. You have to dig deep. Because anything's possible. You know, I would doubt it at English level. I would doubt it at British level. I wasn't meant to go any further than that. But likes of my team, my dad, you know, Steve Wood, and like Frank, believing me and believing we could push on and get onto the world stage. You know, #1 in world. No one ever thought that I'm a, you know, I ain't got punching power, I ain't got the speed, I ain't got the boxing intelligence, but I've just, you know, outboxed and outfought and outsmarted, you know, a brilliant champion, Lee Selby. And let me just say one thing. Prior to this fight, I always had respect for Lee over the years, because, you know, it takes a good fighter to go through the divisions, beating fighters and win world title and defend it more than one occasion. It's only when he took it personal a few years ago. So naturally, I'm a lad from the state. I responded. There was a lot of animosity, you know, in this build-up in this last week. But I said to him after the final bell, listen, you know, what's done is done. We've just had 12 rounds to sort it out, and yeah, hopefully we can leave it at that.
Frank, I mean, you said earlier on that if there were any doubters before tonight, I mean, about Josh's world-class credentials, that's proven wrong, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I will blow my trumpet for a change here. I fancied him so strong for this fight. I really did. I always felt it was about, you know, his work rate, his will to win. It was always about, you know, I've looked him over his last few fights, and there's been a real great improvement in what he's doing. I think that's because he's got some direction where he's going. And I also thought about, you know, coming here. In actual fact, it was more, the fans were a million times better than I thought it was going to be. And you know, you've got to give Lee credit to coming into the Lions Den. And people said, you know, that the crowd would get to him. Well, they didn't get to him, the crowd, at all. I didn't think they would. I think he's too professional there. But I knew the crowd would get to Josh. And as he said, once he was in here, you know, he's a good fighter. That lifted him even more. And I'm a big believer in, you know, you fight at home when you're in tough fights. If you fight in front of your own guys, you get more, because you don't want to get embarrassed. You know, you win, you dig deeper, and he digs deep anyway. But he dug deep and he won that fight. I mean, I don't know how that judge gave it in any shape or form to Lee Selby. I thought I had him winning by, you know, at least 4 rounds. I thought it was a superb performance, a gritty performance against a tough, good quality world champion. And he's shown now that he's world class. That's what he's done. And Leeds, I'm sure they are, but they should be proud of him.
Did you feel in trouble at any stage of that fight, Josh?
No, that's one thing I will say. I had some fantastic sparring throughout this, and you know, probably underrated chin and the ability to take a shot. You know, never one point felt hurt. And he got through with a few clean ones. You know, he's a cute fighter, but I know it was going to be a nitty and gritty fight. He wasn't the cutest, and you know, we worked on specific shots, specific game plans throughout. sometimes that went out window with, you know, the all occasion and everything else. But you know, I was a little bit surprised as well. You know, don't forget we've been studying him a long time. I think I was expecting this. I built him up to be a big monster he made, and when it came out, everything what we'd worked on, everything in the gym, every pad session, every little bits of movements, it was just all coming into plan, and I thought it were a lot easier to read than first expected.
Did you feel like the cuts made a difference, particularly the first one coming so early?
I don't know. It seemed to bother him. I think I caught him with a couple of clean shots in the first couple of rounds, and I think from then on it was annoyed. You know, we worked on it. He drops the shoulder on. So we worked on coming over a little short right hand over the top, and he, you know, yeah, this is it. Michael Alexander came into change rooms before, and he said, you know, no punches to back of head. My back of head's there, and I was hitting him there on the side, and he kept on complaining about that. So I knew from like about 3-4 rounds in, he didn't like that, and that were causing him discomfort, and you know, complained about throughout the fight.
Josh, how important was it for you to make a statement in those first 2 rounds?
I think when you're fighting someone, when you're fighting a champion, you've got to go rip the title off him. Yes, I went in my own backyard. Yeah, I had you know, a hell of a support, but I won a massive underdog, and everyone expected me to just come out and play with me. And you know, as he said himself, he was going to have my head bouncing up and down like Noddy. But you know, I took the fight to him straight away, and I think it ruffled his feathers a little bit, and you know, it just threw him out of his game plan.
Frank's mentioned the great home support you've had here at Elland Road. How important was that to you throughout the fight?
Listen, I can't thank the fans enough, from those who have been supporting me to leisure centres and you know, fighting on the small hall shows. There were times when I was fighting after the main event when people were sweeping up and taking down the stands, and then, oh, hold on, Josh is still to go on. You know, and I always had this massive fan base. I was saying to my pal on the way down here that, you know, as we were pulling in, there were congregations of fans walking down the hill. There were a fella selling t-shirts with my face and scarves on and stuff like that, which I will be asking for a percentage of that, to be honest with you. But it's a bit surreal. Like, it feels only yesterday we were fighting in shows and taking like 20 people in a car, and I've just walked out to, you know, a stadium full with the Kaiser Chiefs playing us out, you know, Lucas Radibi walking us out, and stuff dreams are made of, but I've just made it a reality.
Do you think people will still call you a ticket seller?
Probably so. if that's what
ticket selling world champion,
yeah, this is
a big
it,
difference.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I thought that would have been left behind when I went on to British and started beating guys like that, but I don't know. I think a massive bit of it is to do with me being associated with Leeds and Leeds United, but that's just who I am. I've grown up being a lad coming here, and I don't change who I am, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe I might get a bit of credit, maybe or not, but you know, like Lee said in press conference prior, he said nobody else in the country wanted you to win, but when you've got a support like that behind you, you don't need anyone else. But if anyone else wants to jump on board, then I'm here with open arms.
What's next then, Josh? What do you want to do next?
Fry up and a panic Guinness. But no, listen, Natasha's already said that I'm on night duties and changing shit in nappies in the middle of the night, so that'll be me for next week, and then I'll sit down with Steve and Frank and we'll have a look at our next option. You know, Carl Frampton keeps on getting mentioned, but you know, Windsor Park might be a little bit too soon. We'll have to see about that. I won't mind going back to Arena, you know, having another nutty night there, defend this baby, and then possibly see about fighting Carl after that.
That's the obvious one though, isn't it, Frampton?
Yeah, most definitely. I said, when I was only down in the BT studios about 2 weeks ago, and I passed Carl, and I'd seen that he was picking Selby to win, and I passed him by, and I said, "Yeah, Carl, I know you've picked Selby, but listen, he's having it." And I said, after that, you know, we'll have a chat, and I won't mind coming to Windsor Park and fighting you. You know, the Leeds fans love an away day, so Leeds fan invasion into Belfast.
Frank, we know the appeal that Josh has got in Leeds and in the UK. What's the potential of him worldwide? Well,
you know, first of all, he's done phenomenal, and I do want to thank Leeds United. I want to thank Andrea, Paul Bell, and all their staff, because you know, without them, this wouldn't have happened. So we're very grateful to them. And I think we need to, you know, his next fight, as I said, we're going to sit down in the next couple of weeks. But you know, I don't think we'll be going anywhere soon. You know, the Carl Frampton fight's there to be done. And Carl's a great guy, like same as Josh. They're two really superb boxers and a credit to the sport. Both got tremendous fan bases. You can imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like when these two get it on, and we'll have to think about how we're going to do that. But I think first thing is he's got to change a few napkins and nappies and get back in the groove, and then we'll see in the next few weeks. But it's, you know,
it's been a long camp. It needs a bit of rest. I mean, I'll think about it. I mean, I look at Windsor Park and it's 20,000. You look at Leeds and it's 45,000. I think it's a no-brainer. You know, Josh is a world champion and it's twice the size. So if Hampton wants to fight him, he'd have to come here.
The only problem is that they're for here and any other football ground. The football season's done, so it's just not going to happen. I mean, we don't know. They got Leeds, England are playing here in a couple of weeks, and we had a real problem, you know, getting it on here. So
it's happened in 12 months, can't it, Frank? When the sun's back out.
Defence end of the year, and then sort out next year.
It's a natural fight, whatever happens. But in the meantime, it's time to rest and enjoy yourself, and then we've got plenty of time to talk business.
What do you do next with Lee Selby, Frank? Because he's still got a fight with you, hasn't he?
Sorry?
What do you do next with Lee Selby?
Well, he's not disgraced himself. I should think he's going to be out for a little while. It was a tough fight. I mean, it was a tough fight for Caldwell. I thought it was a tougher fight for him, and he's obviously got some. Sorry, Josh. Senior moment. You know, he's got those 2 bad cuts, and he took some punishment there. So I should think he'll probably have a good 6 months out himself and see what happens.
Josh, you said before the fight, and I think in the ring afterwards, about the Ricky Hatton moment, speaking to Billy Graham. Do you feel like this is your kind of coming of age moment, that now it's just the kind of start for you?
Yeah, most definitely. When Ricky were running on, well, no, he wasn't just running on, he was known nationwide, obviously exciting style. But you know, when that night of when he beat Kosciuszko in Manchester, it was the night what took him on to becoming like a bit of a national hero. I don't think I'm going to become a national hero overnight, like, but I think people might start giving him a bit more credit for, you know, what I've achieved.
How do Leeds fans like to go to Vegas?
Oh, listen, when I was a young lad, people used to say to me, you know, hey, how about fighting here one day, Josh? And it was said as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke, but we've done it now, and they also used to say, hey, when you're taking this to Vegas, and I went over in Vegas last year. We went to watch Frampton and Santa Cruz, and just seeing the all build up for that whet my appetite. So I had a little envisage of 10,000 Leeds fans walking down parade, jumping on poker tables.
Josh Wellington faces on it.
You know, they said when Ricky Hatton went over, it were balmy. I think they get a shock of their life if Leeds went over there.
Steve, what's the journey been like for you with Josh?
Oh, it's been tremendous. You know, everyone knows Josh is a sensible kid and he's easy to work with. But you know, this isn't a fluke. Since he started off doing 4-rounders, he's been a perfectionist and he's done everything in the right way. And his camp for 16 weeks has been perfect as well. But he's done it for 7.5 years. You know, he's a nice kid and he's easy to work with. And he has got better. I mean, everybody thought Selby was going to win this. Josh was 7-2. You know, and I'll tell you the reason why is because it was talked about being 3 years ago, and it didn't happen 3 years ago. If it had happened 3 years ago, it might have been a different story. But timing's about everything. And
I said that
the timing was right tonight,
well, yeah.
And you know, the people who were picking him 3 years ago haven't changed their mind. They've kept it then. Selby's struggling with the weight a little bit more. 3 years. Josh has grown into a featherweight and got a better fighter. And you know. That's the way
you look at him in the ring, the size of the two. He looked like a stone heavier. He looks a much bigger guy in there compared with you. You know, physically he looks a bigger guy, but
strong.
It's about
Josh was
stronger.
Yeah, you were the stronger boxer in there. When the clinches, you was pushing them off and getting your shots off.
It's all about timing. It's picking the right time, and you know you had them. A couple of good fights, and then your last fight, I thought after your last fight, the way you went about the business and what you did, you knew then that was the time to go. And that's one. If you hadn't had that title fight, you may have had another one. You start getting a little bit stale, waiting for it to happen. It was just the right moment.
Yeah, timing is everything. And you know, like 2 years ago, you know, I was a nationwide bottler because I was getting married, and I wanted to change the date, and you know, I'd never get a shot, I'd never get an opportunity, I'd never win a world title. It was gifted to me. I should have taken it there and then, but. You know, worked hard and you know kept chipping away, and then there we are.
Look forward to now. You're going to be changing nappies for the next one.
And they've been doing a film on him for 2.5 years. What a fantastic finale that was tonight to the film. It's going to be a cracker.
That fight be PG, that will.
Frank, would you consider a rematch, Josh?
Well, Lee talked about it, but like I say, we have to weigh up the options now. You know, ball's in my court. I'm the champion now, so you know, listen, world's oyster now, isn't it? You know, I'm champion at Wales, so I have to see what happens when I sit down with Steve and Frank. We had a good turn up, but I've done what I've had to do.
Josh, your dad says you'll be retired by the time you're 30.
Yeah.
So you've got to make the most of the next couple of years, no?
Yeah, listen, I think you've always got to have a game plan, and I'd like to think that I've got quite a sensible eye on. You might disagree on that statement, like, but you know, university degree, you know, can't go too far wrong. But you know, I always set myself a plan: win world title, defend it, have a couple of away days, possibly go to Vegas, and then probably knock it on the head, you know. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. You take every step as it comes. When I turned pro, my ultimate goal was to be a British champion. I did that with 23. Then I wanted to fight. You know, I did that at Leeds Arena as well. That was a dream of mine. Then I went on European. So I'm just taking baby steps and enjoying every moment of it.
Josh, what do you want this victory to do for the city?
I hope that Leeds turn around and say there's a couple of spare season tickets there for Josh for next season. They should have been done all right on wet sails and that today, but yeah, listen, since being a young lad, Adam, you know, we had Carl Johansson, whereas Manchester had the likes of Ricky Hatton, Michael Gomez, Jamie Moore, and they were spewing out these boxers. Sheffield had the likes of Bomber Graham and Nazim Ahmed, and Leeds never really had that. You know, that names for kids to look up to. But if people can say they got into boxing because of me or whatever, then I'll die an happy man. It's certain history books in it, because you know, Leeds is first world champion. I'm very proud at City. You know, I'm proud of everyone who turned out today, and we've done it, Adam. We've done it.
Josh, rankings.
Yeah.
And what's, you know, obviously he's another Yorkshireman. You'd absolutely stack this place out. What's the prospect, gents, of it potentially?
He's in the other camp, so there's a queue, and he's right at the back of it. He chose where he wanted to go, so that's where he's at.
I think Josh has beat him 3 times in the amateurs as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we're in. We're in the Josh Warrington Leeds business. That's what we're in. So we're going to do whatever's best for Josh, and that's where we go.
Cheers, Frank.
Josh, just on Frank, it was you left Eddie and you said Frank says we'll give you the world title shot. You had it today and you delivered it. How nice were you, Frank?
Yeah, very much so, Frank. And you know, as I said to Cogan outside of ring, I said, you know, this whole journey, you know, I had a good time on Matchroom, and they helped build up that initially, but that, you know, that just fell flat. And when we signed with Frank, one of the first things I said to him was Steve, is, you know, if you can deliver me a world title shot, I'm happy man. And he stuck by a word, and that's one thing what Frank does. Is he's been about forever, hasn't he? I was 6-7 years old. Well, listen, no, I'm legend status. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Looking well for 82, aren't you, Frank?
But you know, just hold on.
Starting on me again.
You know, he's been about forever, and listen, you know, you look at all the champions he's looked after over the years, and delivered for me. I can't thank him enough. And you know, everyone else who's been part of this with Steve and Ed and Evans and Leeds United and Paul Bell, it's been a big team effort, but it's paid off.
Well, you've done the business.
They say don't meet your heroes. You had Lucas Radaby here, who's I think a hero for the whole city. What did that mean to you, and what did he say to you before the fight?
To be honest, we had a bit of a chat yesterday. I come down, I got in ring and had a little idea, a little look about and stuff like that. I just knew that I wouldn't be able to take it in. It was just all for the pictures, more or less. But you know, just having that presence there with him saying, you know, little things like, you know, this is your time, and you know, no one comes into our backyard and beats us. It's just little things like that will just build you up and spurs you on a little bit. So honoured to have him over. So I'd like to say thank you to the chief for coming over.